Next opportunity, Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at Nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at Nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at Nebco.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
1221 N Street, Lincoln. CordellCordell.com.
Are you buying a home? Westgate Bank understands that you need to make important decisions during your home buying journey. Our local lenders in Lincoln and Omaha make themselves available so you can get the information you need to know. Use our mobile mortgage app to manage your transaction from pre-qualification to closing, no matter where you are. Get the service and convenience you want from a local community bank where our interest is you. Learn more and visit us online at westgate.bank. Westgate Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
The goal for those coming on the road, let's go get that first one. And then here's what'll happen. There'll be you'll kind of be lackadaisical. Instead of keeping that energy, why not too? Instead of keeping that energy, you'll probably see just a little bit more ease of play. Because in the psyche, we did what we came to do.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome in to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Welcome to the Get the Happy On Hour. Yeah, I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons. This is 93.7 The Ticket. I just been happy all day. I don't even know why I'm happy, man. I'm just happy. I think it's Memorial Day. I want to say happy Memorial Day to everybody. I always start my show off giving a big shout out to Matt Warner and Empire Fencing out in Waverly. Man, you guys show a lot of love and a lot of respect, and I appreciate it. It's never taken for granted. This happy thing, I got to be honest with y'all. I get a lot of personal messages on social media, and I don't quite understand it, but I get so many messages, I ask them to listen to the show for the answers. And the main question that keeps coming up, and I'm going to try one more time for those that didn't listen the last time. Ricky, how can you be so happy and positive all the time with all this adversity and all the negativity out here in our society? Okay. First of all, let me say this. I understand and I agree. There is a lot of controversy, a lot of adversity. There's a lot of negativity. I get it. But see, I had to realize something, and it happened almost 16 years ago. I recognized the fact that I can't change how other people carry themselves. I just don't have that ability. So rather than try to figure out what everybody else got going on, I get real motivated doing Ricky. And Ricky loves to be happy. That is not an act. I genuinely love to be happy. This is the reason why this show is called the Get Your Happy On Hour. For 1 hour, we might talk about some things that aren't so positive, but the point I'm trying to make to you is we have to take a look at what we can and what we can't control. And I think this applies to everybody, not just the people that's got, major problems, not just the older people or the younger people. This is a across the board deal. You have to make a personal choice. It's all on you. It starts with me every single morning. I personally wake up and start smiling because I'm, first of all, blessed to see another day. I don't think a lot of people understand how important that really is. we take for granted, well, we're going to be here next week, then the week after next, I'm going to do this, and then a month from now, I'm going to go here. I'm sorry, but I never got a contract with God. He never told me, Ricky, you're going to be here for the next so many years. I've never had that opportunity offered to me. So I just choose to live each day like it's my last, because one day it will be. So I hope that answers your questions. And now I'm going to get on with the show. Man, I got a guest tonight. It's like a little brother to me. And we're finna go deep. We're going to talk about some stuff that y'all don't know. My little brother's a very, very accomplished man, but he wasn't always that guy. He's laughing because he know I'm right. But Michael Hunter, welcome to the show.
Oh man, I appreciate it, big bro. How you holding up?
Oh man, I'm like a loose hubcap in the fast lane.
There you go, holding on tight.
I'm holding on tight,
hold on
man.
tight, hold on tight.
Well, hey, Mike, man, first of all, let me say thank you. I'm always very, very aware that people have, when they take time out of their day to spend time with me on this show, it's very much appreciated. So I just got to say that right off the top. Thank you.
Absolutely.
But Mike,
you know, look, look down at that phone. If it don't say V Clyde, I ain't picking it up.
See, y'all don't know nothing about V Clyde. We ain't gonna get. Hey, V Clyde is a whole different guy. But no, actually, Mike, man, I would like for people to know. I mean, we're gonna get to all the stuff you're doing currently, but I want to go back. I want to take people back so they understand the journey of Michael Hunter. Let's go back. Where are you from, Mike?
I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was raised there for a little bit. Then 85 moved to KC, and so I was raised in KC for, so I claim KC as home.
KC is home. Well, now what grade were you when you got to KC?
First grade.
First grade.
Yeah,
You ain't. Yeah. I mean, you might have been born in Carolina, but
I was. KC's home.
Well, let me tell y'all this little
show me.
Yeah, let me say this before I forget it. I went to Kansas City with Mike. I met his brother. I met his uncle. Hey, there wasn't no silver spoon here.
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, tell us about your upbringing, Mike.
Oh man, I was raised, my pops left when may rest in peace. He left when I was around 6. So I was raised in a single home with my mom, my grandmothers, 3 older brothers, raised in South Kansas City, the streets of South Kansas City. Mom, very religious family, loving home. We didn't have like you said, no silver spoon for sure. So, we ain't have much. You know what I'm saying? But we made do what we had. And, what we didn't have, we ain't got it.
Go get it and come back with it and
yeah, we didn't have, we ain't got it. But yeah, I mean, so we struggled. Michigan had the 5-5.
Yes.
We had the 5-5 too. When me, my 3 older brothers and my mom, we stuck together like right on right. So we was our own little core, and so it was like we did what we had to do for each other to make sure that the team was complete. That team right there took care of my grandmother, my great grandmother, my aunt. So we did a lot of hustling and bustling. But I mean, we managed to make it through.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all what I know. I know that they weren't the type of people that you need to come around with unnecessary negativity.
We didn't put nah, we ain't doing none of that.
And keep in mind, Keep in mind, we're trying to keep this radio legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
We didn't
you got to read a
yeah.
little bit here.
Don't come around and claim the game ain't gonna turn out right for you.
Yeah, Milton Bradley was
Yeah.
not part of the package.
The game ain't gonna turn out right for you. And I mean, that's how we grew up, man. It was just like, we all had our strengths and in our, in our weaknesses or whatever the case may be, coming up. But it was like, out of the four of us, my oldest brother, myself, we chose to do things, streets and just we live vicariously, what was going on out in the streets. You know what I mean? And so like my two middle brothers, like Reggie was kind of like pop. You know what I mean? Reggie made sure that the house was cool. Moms was at work working 2 jobs or whatever. May she rest in peace as well. Reggie made sure, whatever we had, she laid out the cook or whatever, made, he did that or whatnot. And so he's a chef to this day.
Oh, okay.
So, and then Tay, my brother right above me, he was like the educator, so like in which he's working in education now, he was always straight line. And so it was like me and Chuck, if you mess with Reggie or Tay, then you got to go through us.
It's gonna be a misunderstanding.
It's gonna be a misunderstanding. But the crazy thing about it was they wasn't no slouches either though. So that was a mishap, so people would think like,
because they handling business.
Yeah.
They assume that it was soft.
They forgot they're in the house with us. They're in the house with us. And so, but we got it honest. I mean, he's still in KC. He taught us everything, you know what I'm saying, how to maneuver, when it came to certain things and how to recognize certain things in the streets or whatnot. But I mean, to this day, he's still doing it. You know what I'm saying? He's still, we still learning.
Right.
You know what I mean? And but it's a lot of our homeboys from Chuck all the way down. A lot of our homeboys, didn't make it. We grew up in Eda, we call it Kansas City, Iraq.
Yeah,
right. We grew up in the heat, and then, like I said, in the '90s, it wasn't no joke. So, just knowing that we had a house to go to, you know what I'm saying, and knowing that we had people that loved us, and knowing that we had to make sure that a lot of stuff that we did out in the streets didn't make it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because we knew, and like even some of the stuff that that I was doing, my brothers and them didn't even know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was like I got to make sure I don't want to bring nothing on their plate that what I'm saying, I was doing because I would trickle over to them or whatever the case may be. So I mean, but we learned how to move and maneuver and yeah, like I say, I mean, so you said it right there. Don't come over here playing because it ain't gonna turn out well.
Well, I like to point out things that people always look at what they currently see, and they want to make these assumptions.
Yeah.
Which I never advise people to assume anything. That's why I personally don't take things for granted.
Yeah.
But and we'll get to this part, but I'm trying to make a point.
Mm-hmm.
When they see Michael Hunter today,
right?
They see all the constructive, positive things that you're involved in, and they automatically assume that there was no Michael Hunter before all the positive.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is this, I people how they say, oh, the loudest person in the room when they talk about this, them people that ain't doing whatever. My thing is, you can say what you want. I'm gonna tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna lay it out there for you. But if you assume that whatever, however you take it, and you want to try that whatever, then that's on you. But I told you,
Right.
I
Right.
you know what I'm saying. I told you and I let you know. But that's why too. Like when I got here, because I moved here in '02. When I got the link, people move different. You know what I'm
True.
saying?
True.
People move a lot different. And so when I got here, it took me a while to even really because it was just so slow, so quiet, and so it took me a while to even sleep. So like throughout the time even like now, I'll be like, man, I call Unc, I'll be like, Unc, I gotta come to the crib, man. I need some food. I
Mm.
just need,
Right.
just
Right.
just to be around it, just smell it. And but people don't understand. I tell like kids I work with today, I say, hey, everybody that y'all dealing with in these streets ain't from here.
Right.
Y'all might realize,
Yeah, you might want to rethink that.
yeah, rethink a lot of stuff, and that goes to a lot. That goes to everybody that's walking around out here. Everybody's not from here. Who you think that you running up on, or who you think that a certain person is, they social media, or you seen whatever the case may be, that's who you finna run up on and deal with.
Right.
It's a jack in the box over here. it's a jack in the box over here. It's a straight clown. I'm here to tell you. I don't condone a lot of stuff that I used to do or that I've done. It lets me know that if I need to, I know what to do, but I also know how to act as well.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
I think it's really important, man. The message that I'm hearing from you is this. They got all these sayings, and I have them too. I call them Rickyisms.
Mhm.
One of my Rickyisms is don't let the laughing and joking and the jovial attitude, don't let it put you to sleep to the
Yeah.
point of who I really am.
Yeah.
I just like to laugh and joke and be happy. That's just genuinely who I am.
I tell people too, I laugh and play because like I study, I got a master's in biology or whatever the case may be. Like I study whatever the case may be. But it starts with myself. So like I tell people, I laugh and joke because I'm sick. I mean, I'm really I got a
Yeah.
problem. You
Right,
know what I mean? And
right.
so it's like I know that about myself.
Mhm.
So I gotta put something in front of that so I can balance that stuff out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're dealing with people that don't know you.
Don't know you. That's right.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so my thing is, I lay, I lay the bed. You know what I'm saying? The case version of myself or person I was when I grew up or whatever. Unless my kids are involved or you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
family.
Right.
Something like that. And the crazy thing about it is, like, it's been times where that's almost been tested. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like, I'm like, man. And like
Yeah.
as
Oh.
well as anybody.
I understand perfectly what you're saying. I'm
it's
just trying to
like-
help the audience understand and the listeners, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Being a nice person or being a good person, that is ideal, but it's And see, and that's why when I started the show off, I was explaining how hard I work at being
Right.
happy, because you referenced V. Clyde. V. Clyde. Let me say this before I go forward. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not
Right.
I'm not, I can't whoop the world. I'm none of that. But the one thing that I am is I'm not afraid of nothing.
Yeah.
And that's V. Clyde.
Yeah.
And that's the part that, luckily for me, for the past almost 16 years, I've been able to keep V. Clyde kind of in a coma.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And it allows Ricky C. Simmons to be the guy that I am and who I choose to be.
And I mean, it's and like I say, and me, I'm busy. You know what I'm saying?
Man, busy is an understatement.
I'm always on the go. I'm always, interacting with people. I'm always, just out there in the community, doing something. So I have many chances just to help people who A don't know me, who B, that, and that's why I don't go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people, I mean, people don't know when, especially when you haven't really been on the scene or whatever, and people don't know you. Then they try to, you know, test you and all that kind of stuff. I just ain't got time for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it ain't gonna end well for them nor me.
Right.
So I just, like you just said, I'm not saying I'm the toughest dude out here. I'm not saying that, but I know me.
Right.
I don't care about what they're capable of doing.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm capable of doing.
Right.
And I know that when it comes to me, it's not just me. There's other individuals.
Oh Lord, man. I can attest to that as well. Because you got one. I got love for him. I don't even know him, but if I don't meet him, it won't hurt my feelings.
I mean, it's like, and what you were saying about, the contract guy.
Yeah.
They don't care about no contract.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so it's just like, but so for me, I just try to do the best I can in the community to help as many people as I can. And which brings me to what I do today, which is I try to help kids that was just like me back in the day, around Lincoln or whatever. And I try to make sure that I identify those things, those traits that I used to have, and I try to catch them early.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they won't venture off and wind up doing some of the stuff I've done or whatever. But you have some kids that are doing who just want to go that way. They just gonna, they're just gonna go.
Experience is gonna have to teach them like
experience
it's taught
gonna have to
us.
teach them. Exactly. And it sucks, but it's just one of those things. And like I said, it was all because I wanted to do it. Like I say, my house wasn't broke. It wasn't, what I mean? It wasn't like I don't work 2 jobs or whatever, but it wasn't like, oh man, I just got a horrible,
Right.
Nah, I don't want nothing like that.
Yeah,
So,
you just made some choices.
yeah, just made some choices and thought that, okay, this seems fun. You know what I mean? Because it's like but I worked 12 and a half years behind walls or whatnot, and the crazy thing about it is like me and my uncle, we was in downtown Kansas City, and it was in City Hall, and there was a flyer and it said correctional officer needed, must be willing to use physical force upon whatever. And I looked at my uncle, I said, we get to fight for free? He said, boy, you sick. I said, I know, I'll be right back. I went to go take the test.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next thing you know,
I know, yeah.
Wow.
So it started. So that's what I'm saying. Like it started out like, okay, well, I did up throwing heads. I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
But then, getting in there and start looking at certain things, start seeing your homeboys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Coming in and out or whatever the case may be. So now my thought process changed. Now my thought process is, okay, let me see how I can utilize people that look like me, seeing me doing something positive.
Correct.
Let me now try to reverse the situation.
Yeah, you basically want to flip the script.
Basically want to flip the script. So, but then, you got it's hard when you got cats in there who know what you doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But, and know a little bit about your past.
Right. Now you in here trying to tell them.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, man, so, but I mean, it came a time where, that when I was working there, that type of pressure or whatever, I had to revert back to,
go back to what you know,
man, because it was one of those, they call them con games or whatever, but I call it just talking slick. But one of the guys I went to school with or whatever, he was in there or whatnot. Chill out, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He goes to, hey, you in the hood doing this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bro, now you dry snitch. You know what I mean? Now
It's gonna cost me now.
yeah. So now, so I had to, pull him into the area. I'm like, come here, man. Let me holler at you, So I pull him in the best area. Basically.
Nothing changed.
Ain't nothing changed. That's it. That's it right there. Don't let this.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for a job when I found this.
That's right. I'll be looking for another if I have to.
Yeah.
Hey, well, look, hold on. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Michael Hunter. Don't y'all go nowhere. This is 93.7 The Ticket. Get happy on hour.
What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity, positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311. Or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Rain or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly, no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing
and Electrical.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans, begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277, or judsonirrigation.com.
Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in May. Try a pesto BLT or a pizza bagel for lunch. Also, enjoy a new energy fusion drink and a variety of flavors, and get a caramel latte with 10% of all sales going to the Hope Venture. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to savings to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking, and I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought it was healthy, yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Eagle receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, we're back. I see we got a few listeners out there. I want to say a big shout out to Theo Cooper. I appreciate the comment. You know, I have to clarify it. I was not going to it first. You know, I know this is 93.7 the ticket station, but to Get You Happy on Hour, we don't focus on sports because I think they cover that quite well during the week. So I hope this is something that you can just learn from. I mean, we like to stay positive and we like to try to encourage people to understand that life is full of adversity and there's going to be some ups and downs, but the bottom line is we don't give up. But anyways, with that being said, I got to get back to my guest. You know, Michael Hunter is a very interesting person. And, you know, we talked a little bit for those that were listening. We kind of covered his upbringing. So he didn't come from the best situation, but he made the best out of the situation. And what I would like to focus on now is what are you into now, Mike? I mean, and first let's talk about the education piece.
Right.
Okay. Where are you at education wise?
I'll say this. When it came to I hate school. I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, school was not my and due to everything that happened, you know, growing up or whatever the case, things that I always suspended, expelled, whatever the case may be. You know, there was gaps in my education. You know what I mean? And so like when I moved here in 2002, I was around 24, 23, somewhere around there. But I know that I went to East Campus and, you know, they got a little test, you know, little test circuit out there, whatever you want to call it, where, you know, people can test you to see IQ and all this stuff.
Right.
You know, I was trying, you know, because I was trying to, you know, when I left high school, I had, you know, I had a couple offers or whatever to play football or whatever, but I just hated school, so it didn't really, you know, it didn't really click for me. So, so I ended up leaving school, then I'm back in school, then leaving school again, and back in school, then leaving school again. So I really never really just honed in on it because I was always still doing what I was doing when I was a kid, just running away from education. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, because it was just, it didn't come easy to me. So I was like, why am I doing this? You know, and then in high school, I was studying eligibility. You know, I just wanted to be eligible to play on Friday nights. You know what I mean? So that's all I was worried about. So, but no. So when I got here, I took that test or whatever, and I tell my kid, I've carried this test ever since then. I've carried it in my backpack, and at 25 years old, you know, I was reading on the 7th grade level. You know what I mean? Due to all the gaps in education and all that kind of stuff. So it was like, you know, I was working in the institutions or whatever. When I moved here, I was still working behind the walls or whatnot, you know, trying to just getting by. And then I started, you know, working for Lincoln Public Schools. And I was a para out at Park Middle School. And then, you know, that's what really triggered my education right there. You know, being around a lot of people who had education. Now I'm in the lion's den. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
now it's like, okay, I'm telling these kids that education is important. Now I'm still dealing with kids with behavior issues or whatever the case may be. So I'm still trying to into them about education. But then also I'm seeing people around me, because LPS is a continuous education organization.
Right.
So it's like, man, this person going back to school, this person going back to school, and I'm saying like you can't get nowhere, you know what I'm saying, without your education.
Right.
You know, and so I ended up picking back up on education. I went to Bellevue, ended up graduating, made the dean's list, graduating with a 4.0, and with a in behavioral science, behavioral science. And then I was like, you know what? See if I can challenge myself a little bit more. So then I went back. I went to North Central and I got my master's degree in industrial organizational psychology. So right now I'm back in school. I'm getting another master's in school counseling, P2K right now. So that's right now.
Well, man, first of all, let me say congratulations because I was not a big fan of school either. I grew up with 2 school teachers with parents with master's degrees.
Yeah.
So it was like I had no choice.
Right.
Yeah, but you had a choice and you turned it around all the way. And I respect that. And I want people listening to know that.
Well, like I told you, my brother, he's an educator.
Right.
So like when we was younger, when you clear your desk out for school, you take all this stuff that you worked out throughout the year, whatever, you take that home or whatever. Well, so what's today? School let out when on Thursday?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so school was out on Thursday. So like back in the day when we got out of school, we was out of school Thursday. They tried to play school on Friday. We on the porch. You know what I'm saying? We on the porch. He want to be the teacher, and we going through lessons on Friday because he want to be the teacher. I'm like, I'm trying to go play. I ain't trying to be playing no school right now. So he was like, we was just like, give me an hour. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, all right, give me an hour. Then we finna go. I'm finna go to these streets. I'm finna go play. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so it was like even now, when I have questions or whatever, and I call him, I'll be like, hey, this ain't making sense to me. What is it here? Back to the old thing. What is it saying? I'll be like, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you what it's saying. He was like, okay, let's read through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's the type of person that he's gonna make you do it. He's gonna make you do it, and he's gonna make sure that you understand it, and then he'll break it down to where it's like, okay, this is what it's saying. Because like I said, I still got gaps. And that's what I tell my kids today, that I work with. I still have gaps. I say, I'm not standing in front of you perfect. You know what I mean? But I'm standing in front of you trying.
Right.
And I still got gaps that I have to somehow figure out a way to fill, but I have to also understand that those gaps may not get filled. And that's due from the timing that I didn't, I got less days on this earth than I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So those gaps still may not get felt, but I'm still trying, and I'm still trying to put at least something else in front of those gaps where if a difficult question or a difficult situation comes to me, I'm able to handle that situation clear-minded and educational wise, rather than because the lady who administered the test, she told me, I'm gonna tell you this. When I was 25, she said, your street smarts is off the charts. She said, but I don't see you graduating from an institution in America.
Right. Wow.
Wow. I was like, all right.
That's a vote of confidence.
Yeah. So I was like, with me, I was used to it. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, streets it is. But it's just like now I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, okay, I'm going back home every weekend. You know what I'm saying? On my weekends or whatever the case, my weekends are like Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday. When you work behind the walls, you're gonna have seniority, have weekends off. But I'm going my car packed on whatever my Friday is.
Yeah,
my car packed, ready to head back home.
Right.
And I'm gonna be home until
Yeah.
I got to come back to do whatever I need to do here. But nah, I stay back home when I moved up here.
Well, Mike, I want to move it to the part to where, what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to share that. I mean, we've heard about the rocky part.
Right.
I want to share what you're currently doing.
Right now, I've been with Lincoln Public Schools for about going on 13 years.
And that's at the district office.
Yeah, it's at the district office. I
Okay.
started at the district office in 2015.
And your job responsibilities are
I'm the district transition specialist. So what that entails is I help kids transition from being expelled. I help kids transition from coming out of placements, institutions, and things of that nature.
like if a
foster
kid go
care.
to a juvenile
Yeah, they
detention.
go, or if they coming back from a juvenile,
Yeah.
then I'll get with them, transition back to their home schools and things of that nature.
And you also got another job.
I do. I am the athletic director at the Malone Center as well.
See, I told y'all this dude was busy.
Yeah.
You
Then
know?
I also run my nonprofit. I train receivers side as well.
See? And people wonder why I'm saying this dude is busy. I mean, sometimes I call Michael, man, just to find out where he's at. I know he ain't at home. I just say, where you at this time? Man, I'm over here. So you stay busy, man.
Stay busy. One thing I did give up though is coaching. I ain't coaching.
Okay.
I am done with.
Okay, well, you know what? I think, last time I checked, now you correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the last time I checked, you're human. So rest is kind of important.
Rest is important.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, that know me don't think I try to get a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm one of them people.
Because they'll text me at the wild wee hours of the night, and I respond.
Yeah.
They be like, "Bro, do you sleep?" I would, I would just text you that just to,
I honestly thought you was allergic to sleep. I mean, that was just my personal opinion because every time I call you, it didn't matter when, it was always you're doing something. I mean, I'm like, Mike, maybe just get some rest,
I
man.
think I get it from my mom's though.
Yeah.
Because my mom, she would get off at, let's say 7:30 in the morning. We'll pick her up from work because she didn't drive, so we'll pick her up from work or whatever. And she'd get home and then she would instantly start praying for people, like having church with people on the phone or whatever the case may be. She would take individuals off the street. We come home, it's somebody new in the crib. We like, Mom, who is it? Who is this?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, baby. I got
Yeah,
right. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So we like, all right, we got, they kids and they spending the night or whatever the case may be. So we
You
like
just want to help people.
Yeah, so I think, and me and Chuck got that, like my oldest brother, we got that like to the T. And I think we all do actually. Like I don't care what holiday Reggie ain't calling in. Reggie always say, I mean, you spend money when you ain't at work.
Right.
So Reggie gonna work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless, he gonna work. Chuck stay busy. I stay busy. Well, I think we all stay busy.
I think that's a good thing. In your case, it's a great thing because you don't have time to go back in your mind to when times were different.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like that idle mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't let it idle. I just
Idle mind is the devil's workshop.
I mean, I stay busy. My thing is this. I was once told that if you was to go right now, could somebody actually say you did something to change their life?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer in that. You know what I mean? So when I go, I want somebody to say, you know what? I'm here because of him. I'm here because of this. I'm here because of that.
Something positive.
Something positive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, and even though you can't change the world, but even if, like I said, if I could just redirect, a few.
Well, see, my thing is this: I'm big on being humble.
Right.
Being humble sometimes is taken as being weak, but
facts.
I want to make sure that I'm real clear with this. I love being humble because it keeps me grounded,
Right.
far from weak.
Very far.
Yeah, matter of fact, weak and Ricky C. Simmons or Pete Collateral, they're like not even
They're
in
allergic to each other.
Yeah, they're not even in the same area code. So we don't do that. I'm not, like I said, I don't want controversy. I don't want adversity.
Right.
But I'm aware of how to
Right.
handle it. And it sounds like to me you are very good at trying to avoid it as
Oh
well.
yeah, I am because like I said, and I think we both said it at one point in time before. No matter because if we don't stay away from whatever,
Mhm.
they're gonna whatever we do, we're gonna get ridiculed for whatever.
Right.
You know, whether it's if we go an inch
Mhm.
or whether we go a mile.
Right.
So knowing that, if I'm gonna trick it, oh, it's gonna be Halloween.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so-
if I'm gonna trick it, it's about it's gonna ziggity boom.
Yeah, and see, and that's the thing that people don't understand about you and myself, and I can say that about both of us. We will basically try to help anybody we can.
Anybody.
But
Anybody.
but disrespect,
It's not no.
man.
Nah,
I mean, because it doesn't.
no.
I mean, first of all,
No.
we are not going to disrespect anyone.
Right.
So
Right.
you know, and that's I think that's a big part of it for you. And I know it's a huge part for me. I'm not. I go out of my way to try and not disrespect
Right.
people. I mean, I find myself, for example, at a department store,
Right.
and if I purchase something, I got someone that's much younger than me, male or female. Did you find everything you need? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And they're younger than me.
Absolutely.
I hold doors for people. I walk really slow.
Right.
And
It's like when we golf. If you're in a rush, you might as well go before
yeah,
us.
yeah. I try my best to avoid being in a hurry. If I gotta be in a hurry, I think I'll pass on
Right.
even doing it.
Right.
Because to me, it may not make sense to the average person, but sometimes when you take your time, you can see things happening before they happen.
Right.
You know, and you can avoid a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. Like I tell the kids I work with now, I live by 3 pillars. And I think they're the 3 most important pillars in life and in this order. Respect, relationships, education.
Yeah. I co-sign that.
Yeah, because I tell them, I say, when you respect somebody, you gonna demand respect and you gotta give respect. If anybody's not showing you their just get away from them because they're gonna make you do something to them, or you're gonna end up doing something that you don't want to do,
Right.
vice versa.
It's just easier to give them
Just
50
easy to
feet.
give them 50 feet.
Yeah.
I said too, that respect gonna bring you positive relationships.
Right.
Those relationships can take you way further than education can ever take.
Right.
But if you don't have the education, you can't get in the door.
Right. The education will open the door, but
Education will open the door.
but respect will keep you in the door.
Sure will.
Well,
Sure
look, we're
will.
gonna take one more quick break, and we're gonna come back and wrap this show up. Don't y'all go nowhere. This is 93.7 The Ticket. Just to get the happy on out.
Is it time to replace your home comfort system? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates, and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing for a free estimate. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interest. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Early break. One hand behind the back, over the shoulder. Oh yeah, they're peacocking out there. Eyes closed, like that. High stepping, high knees. That guy doing high knees. I saw a guy doing a karaoke on the sidewalk. Guys, it's like incredible.
The microphone.
Yeah, you can do anything. Flip it over, sing into it. Then there's me. I'm like.
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, we back. Well, listen here. I just want y'all to know I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're going to get ready and wrap this show up in a minute, but before I do that, I got to ask you, man. Mike, you got any shout-outs you want to shout out to anybody?
Oh, man. I know I probably forget somebody or whatever. First off, man. All the homies, you know what I'm saying, back at all the brothers of 587 Fraternity Incorporated. That includes, you know,
my brother John in there.
Yeah.
Chris, what's happening?
Yeah, John, Tarvis, Marcus, Sam, Jesse. Man, it's Kevin, Lil Mike. It's a lot of us.
Well,
but,
you know, I always throw up the fingers, but I ain't no bruh. But all I'm gonna say is when I throw up the fingers, if y'all are bruh, don't ask me no questions.
They gonna question if they see you, but and make sure you're around.
Yeah, because I threw it up when Jesse saw me once. He started asking me questions. I had to start my feet to move.
Nah, but I mean, just shout out to everybody, man, who supports positive. All the kids. I truly, this is from the heart, though. I truly hope that y'all learn something this year. Hopefully that you guys be safe this summer and come back next year, you know, ready to continue your education, but just try to stay out of as much trouble as possible.
Well, Mike, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm just proud of you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just have to say that on the air. But you know, you done shared quite a bit with us, and you've been very transparent. But before I let you go, I got to ask my final question, man. When Michael Hunter does get some free time, how does Michael Hunter get his happy on?
Oh, man. I'm going to tell you, like, I just chill, man. Just chill, bring everything down back to the ground. You know, try to let the day settle in, make sure I got everything I need to do done. And if not, just live to see another day.
That's fair enough. Again, thank you, Mike, for being
absolutely
for coming on the show. I wrap my show up the same every week. I want y'all to listen to this. Every day you blessed to say it's just another day in paradise. And no matter what, you gotta keep your happy on. Go! We'll see y'all next Sunday.